Hello, well, to Twin Watts 777. My heart is heavy right now. So we all know that they have found Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder and convicted now. He's serving a 35-year sentence. And my heart is just heavy because I thought, at first I didn't form an opinion either one way or the other, but I was leaning more towards that it was really self-defense, giving the information and the evidence that I have seen and came across online. So Karmelo Anthony is found guilty of murder in Texas high school stabbing. And this is him leaving the courthouse. In McKinley, Texas, a jury found Karmelo Anthony guilty yesterday of the 2025 murder of Austin Metcalf, a fellow high school student at a Dallas area track meet. The verdict read by Texas District Court Judge John Roach Jr. carries with it a sentence of 5 years to life in prison. Anthony was 17 at the time, but Texas law allowed him to be charged as an adult, and so now he is 19. Some in the courtroom reacted with cries, and Metcalf's twin brother, who made his first appearance in the courtroom, leaned forward. Anthony's mother's wept, which I'm so sure she did. Roach had warned people in the courtroom to control their emotions when the verdict was read. And that's a kind of difficult thing in any case to do when the verdict is being read, is to try to control your emotion when this is a very high emotional case, as it is, on both sides of the aisle. Okay, so Anthony's attorney kept an arm wrapped around him. Metcalf, 17, was fatally stabbed on April 2nd, 2025, as the track teams of Anthony's Centennial High School and Metcalf Memorial High School participated in a district-wide meet in Frisco, a Dallas suburb. Anthony's legal team argued he acted in self-defense, which that's what I thought as well. After he sat in the bleachers under the tent of rival high school Memorial and was confronted by members of his track team and told to leave under the pressure of physical intimidation. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms that rainy day, their father said. That is tough. So we got to keep both families in prayer. Both families in prayer, and not one of you, because they both lost a loved one. Howard said Howard had sought to establish during the trial that going to rival team tent and socializing is customary at meets, that Anthony was invited to the tent and that Metcalf and his twin brother standing nearby were physically intimidating, as it is reasonable to worry these kids might jump in, that Metcalf's brother might pop in to defend. Okay, all this reading. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot of reading. What I want to do, I did see a video of this, and that's what I want to watch. And here's the video right here.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the raw emotions today after a jury in Texas found 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder in the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet last year. And immediately after the verdict tonight, tension erupted outside the courthouse, the jury rejecting Anthony's assertion that he killed Metcalf in self-defense. He did not testify on his own behalf. The Metcalf family all along rejecting the use of their son's death to inflame racial divides. None of the jurors deciding the teenager's fate were black. Our Jonah Kaplan is at the courthouse tonight. Jonah, good evening.
Matt, good evening. This was an emotional and a dramatic trial that lasted 7 days, but it took less than 3 hours for that jury to return a guilty verdict.
Oh my God,
Emotions ran high outside the county courthouse in McKinney, Texas, minutes after a jury convicted 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year. The two teens were high school track athletes at competing schools.
At the end of the day, nobody wins. You know, it's a loss on both sides.
Police officers and sheriff's deputies were lined in front of the courthouse to keep calm. Anthony was convicted of murder. Prosecutors argued he intentionally killed Metcalf after being shoved and taunted by Metcalf and his teammates. Anthony claimed self-defense and broke down crying in the courtroom. He did not take the stand in his trial. Why does this feel so personal to so many people?
Because I'm a black person myself, I'm a black woman, I am a black mother, and I feel for him.
How do we ensure that this act of violence and the verdict doesn't lead to more acts of violence?
By standing peacefully and not yelling and screaming and attacking each other with words. Just be kind.
Anthony's supporters also criticized the racial makeup of the jury. The 12-member panel did not include any African Americans. After delivering their verdict, the jury went back into the deliberation room and then talked about a sentencing. It took another 3 hours of discussions, and the jury just returned a sentence for Karmelo Anthony, 35 years in prison. Matt?
Jonah,
When I heard it and how many years he got, for some reason, my heart just sank. My heart just really sank in. He's such a young, he's a kid, you know. In my eyes, he's a kid, not a little kid, but as far as age, him compared to my age, he's a kid. I'm old enough to be his mom, and so I can just imagine what his mom is feeling and the family is feeling. Not only that family, but also the other family. I believe the Metcalf family. Like I said, there's no winners in this, but I don't know if there was some evidence that wasn't presented to the public that we don't know about it. But as far as what they put out there, I was under the assumption that this was self-defense. So the only thing I'm thinking about is because he used, he didn't use the same force that the other guy used. Maybe he was shoving him and pushing him with his hands, and he didn't have a weapon. Whereas Karmelo, he had a weapon. So maybe he just went overboard with it. But either way it goes, the verdict has been read. He has been sentenced to 35 years in jail. But he can't get parole, but I think I heard that he have to serve at least half that time in order to even be considered for parole. So let's just keep both families in prayers. I mean, it's a loss on both ends. It's a loss, and that's all I can say. But one thing that I will say, as far as the makeup of the jury, I kind of had a feeling that he was going to be found guilty simply because of the makeup of the jury. Just look at the history and go back in time. As soon as I heard that they had 7 men, not only men, but white men. And so I just had a sinking feeling when I heard that. Okay, so enough of that. I will see you in my next video. And again, like I said, keep both family in your prayer. And if you can, try to stay out of trouble. Don't go visit anyone tense. You never know. You never know what may jump off. So stay safe, stay vigilant. vigilant, and definitely stay prayed up. Okay, I'll see you on my next video.